Hello, beautiful humans, and welcome back to Reignite Your Soul. I'm so excited that you're back here with me, and welcome back to day number 4 of your self-love challenge. If you are brand new to this channel, then I would please ask that you go back to day number 1. This will be the only time that there is going to be a rule, because no rules in life. You get to make them up, except for this time. I make the rules this time. So please go back to number 1, work your way through these self-love days, and you will get to day number 4 in 4 days, and you will get to enjoy this episode. So you may find that I'm a little bit wound up today, and it is because I slept legit for the last 24 hours because I was really, the universe went for the TKO and gave me the worst migraine and the worst back pain. I'm probably just being dramatic, but it was pretty bad. So I surrendered to the plan, and I just took it easy all day yesterday. And I will be honest, this is the first time in my life ever that I've been able to just take a full day, not have any expectations about what's going down, not be like, oh man, I wish I had this migraine right now. I wish I was at work. Why does this person get to feel good and go to work? I'm like, no, that's Patricia. Patricia, you don't even like going to work anyway. But it was actually really good. It was I was actually able to surrender, to just be okay with chilling out, sleeping for the majority of the day, and just going with the flow of things, not resisting it, because we know that when we resist things, it's only going to get worse for us. And I was not about to take that route. So if I'm a little bit wound up today, I just slept for 24 hours. So I'm feeling really, really good today. So just to recap on what we learned yesterday, your minds were blown with all of the vastness of the universe, right? There's so many things that we do not know in life. And our ego, Patricia, likes to think that she knows absolutely everything, when in reality, there's so many things in life that we don't know. And when we choose to open up our minds to all of the amazing possibilities that are going on in our bodies, that are going on in the world, that are going on with other people, then it's going to completely open up a whole new world of possibilities for you. And if you hear some banging in the background, it's because we've got some construction workers out here, and man, Colombians are the hardest workers ever. They're up at 6:45 a.m., guys, 6:45 a.m. outside my bedroom window with their reggaeton music on, loving life, working away. If that is not inspiring, tell me what is, because before, old me, Patricia, would have been so angry that there was people playing reggaeton music out at 6:45 a.m., but now I'm just holy Hannah, look at their work ethic. I love how much fun they're having. This is amazing, right? This is all thoughts that we get to choose consciously in our heads and what we get to live by. So getting right into this today, we are going to start talking about abundance. And trust me, before I started getting into personal development, I had never heard this word before in my life. What the heck is abundance? No freaking clue. Right over my head, right? So maybe you're that person, you're I have no clue, please enlighten me. Or maybe you're heck yeah, I know what abundance is. Crazy. So abundance mindset, it just means that you're open to all of these amazing things that are going on in life. And you understand that there are infinite possibilities and opportunities available to you at any moment, at any second, if you choose to see them. And that's the thing, right? We're going to go flow through life. We're going to have days where we're open, days where we're closed, days where we're open. We're going to be a couple of weeks when we're closed. That's fine. But we're not going to see these opportunities. And that's why we really want to shift more into alignment so we can have more of these days where we are an open door to all of the amazing things that the life has to offer us. And if you think about it, whatever your craziest freaking dream was that you put on your list of 25 things, guaranteed, not 100%, but probably a very high possibility, somebody else has already achieved what you would like to achieve. And this is you with your big, crazy ass ambitious goals where you're I somewhat still don't even believe I'll ever make it there, but that's okay. Like, just know that somebody else has already done exactly what you're looking to do. So it's proof that the universe, that God, that all these opportunities out in this abundance of the world, they're also accessible to you. It's just about navigating and finding out how to access them, right? So that's where you can either be one of two people on any given day. Today, you might be one thing. Tomorrow, you may be another. So you can either be an open door or a closed door. Okay? So if you're an open door, that's when, you know those times where shit's just going right for you. Like, you're like, holy Hannah, like, there are just like things popping onto my lap right here. Like, it's like I'm not even doing anything to receive these things. Like, what am I doing right? Like, this is freaking amazing. Let's keep it rolling, right? That's when the door is open. You are like an open door for the universe to pour all of that amazing opportunities into you, but you are the one that is seizing those opportunities, and you are the one choosing to see them. So kudos on you if you've ever been in that state. If you have not been in that state, that's totally cool, because that's why you're here, because you want to get in that state of flow and that state of openness. So you could be that person, and maybe you've been there in like little spurts, but like sometimes you're not. Like, if somebody learns how to do this all the time, like, please tell me. Freaking make a podcast and then invite me to it, because I want to learn how to do that too, okay? So if you are a closed door, so this can be in like varying different levels. Like, you could be a completely closed door, like you've got the freaking hatches locked, like you're like super paranoid that somebody might break into your house like every night. You could be that type of closed. We've all had one of those friends that are a closed door, and they're complaining about things. They're like, oh, like, I really want to do this, I want to do that, like, my life sucks. And then you offer them solution after solution after solution after solution to their problem. But it's just like you're just throwing these balls at this closed door, and they just keep bouncing back in your face over and over and over and over again. That is a completely closed door. And if you're there right now, it's okay, because every single state as to which you're currently in, I want to remind you guys that it's totally okay. There's no right or wrong, and there's no one that's better than the other, because it's perfect exactly where you are currently in your journey for the lessons that you are currently needing to learn. And like I said, if that's that closed door, or you know somebody that is that closed door right now, it's okay, because they just aren't ready. They're doing other methods of growth within in order for them to get to that place when they are actually open and ready to receive what the universe is giving them, or what solutions you are offering them. You're not the universe, but the universe could be conspiring through you to give this person a solution. And the cool thing about this is that even if you are that closed door, you will remember, once your door starts opening again, you will still remember all of those amazing solutions that were tossed at you back when you were a closed door, and you'll probably be like, oh shoot, like maybe this does seem kind of like a good idea, and you'll be super hesitant. You're like, maybe I will check this out then. And then they'll check it out, and then they might love it, right? So when you're doing this with a closed door, don't ever think that it's pointless. Don't get angry at them. Be gentle, be easy on them. Understand that they are exactly where they need to be, and that you're just there to be a friend for them, to love and support them, to encourage them. And then when they're ready, they're going to start making changes, and you can quietly, silently love on them even more and be super proud of them for the growth, even though you've seen that growth in them way before they saw it in themselves. Just give yourself a little pat on the back and be like, you know what, soul, you saw that before anybody else did. And you, by loving and supporting them, you help them to facilitate that growth within themselves. That's super powerful. And you could be a partially closed door. So you're going to allow in some suggestions. You're just going to totally like block out some other suggestions. No, that's not for me. You could be one of those too, and that's totally cool too. So we're going to talk about what sets the ones apart from the closed door to the partially open door to the fully open door in this podcast. So stay tuned. Don't leave quite yet. So you know how yesterday we were talking about dreaming frickin' massively and releasing the how, right? Like placing full trust into the universe, God, source, whichever one you choose to believe in, or don't fully believe in yet. That's okay, because trust me, if I tell you that I know with conviction and confidence that you are going to be a millionaire 1 year from now, you're a self-made millionaire, because the universe, God, the source, is going to show you how to get there. Don't worry, right? Like, you're going to fucking believe me. No, you've got to go through the process yourself. But I absolutely love simple and relatable analogies. So let's do this, okay? So you're definitely going to have questions with this whole conspiring with the universe. Hopefully this will clear it up for you. So we all have seen a thermostat before. It's winter right now, so you're obviously going to want to turn up the heat at some point. So you have this thermostat in your house. When it's cold and you want to warm it back up in your house, what do? You go walk over, you go punch into the little thermostat, you hit the little up arrow a few times, and then the furnace is going to kick on and turn up the heat. Correct? This is a belief that we all have. Unless your furnace is broken, which obviously shit's going to happen. You can get it fixed. So the majority of the time, you're going to push that up arrow. Furnace is going to do its thing, and then it's going to turn up the heat. Okay? So this is the exact same way that God, the universe, and source, whatever it is that you choose to call it, that's the exact same thing that it does for you. So I mean, imagine it just like a thermostat. So you have this big goal, this big ambition. You really, really, really want to become a doctor. Okay, this is your big dream. You are going to set this out to the universe, just like you put in the little code of the up arrows into your thermostat. You're going to put this into the universe. The universe is then going to do whatever it does, just like the furnace does, and it's going to kick back. Instead of heat, well, it's definitely going to turn up the heat in your life for sure, but it's going to start throwing you little pebbles. Okay, so it's going to start throwing you little pebbles of inspiration, little pebbles of opportunities, and your job now is to be that open door so that you can start receiving these little gifts. And it's a little bit harder to imagine because the universe is not a legitimate thing that we can see, whereas a thermostat you can, and our brain likes to have things that we can see. But remember, we just have to remember sometimes that there are going to be some things in life that we just don't understand. There's not a physical thing to see, but we know that it exists. Okay? So it's the exact same thing with this. You're going to put out your big goal to the universe. It's going to do whatever its thing is, and it's going to start sending you feedback, sending you inspiration, sending you little pebbles of things, and then it's your job to make sure you're staying in that alignment so that you can either see or not see all of those amazing little gifts that it's throwing you. And the hard thing is that a lot of the time these little gifts are hidden in ways that we never ever think that they would come about into our lives. So this is where it's super important that we keep our eyes open, which is super important why we practice being present. Because if we're not being present, then how the heck are we expected to see these little gifts going on in our life? That's why this is all a huge thing working on top of each other, and it's not going to happen overnight. Like, this is so many little components that you need to tap into in order to get the full benefit of this. But trust me, with practice and continually doing what you're doing, making things fun, keeping your eye out for those little frickin' pebbles that the universe is throwing at you, those little gifts, you're going to start finding little gifts, and you're going to be like, ooh, okay. So another example for you. So imagine you want to build your dream home, okay? So that's your intention that you threw out to the universe. The universe is going to start sending you these little breadcrumbs of information so that you can build your dream house. Because the universe, it wants to see you achieving all of these things that you want to achieve. It just does. Like, it's just 100% love. It's going to give you exactly what you ask for. But remember, it's not always going to be in the way that you think it's going to be. So you may be at Canadian Tire and you happen to see some shingles on sale. So you're like, ooh, that might be a good addition to my house. They look really cool. I'm going to buy them. So you get those shingles. So you got one piece of the puzzle. And then you may be on a hike and you see this beautiful tree. It's just towering over. It's so beautiful. You're like, I really want this beauty to inspire what my house is going to look like. So you decide to take that piece of inspiration that the universe has gifted you with, and you really want to own a log cabin, a beautiful log cabin. So it takes this little pebble and it implants this little idea into your head where you want a log cabin, okay? So you've got a couple pieces to the puzzle, you're going through life, and then you see this big, beautiful window that would be perfect for your dream home, okay? So you go in to buy it, you're checking it out, the price is perfect, but it's freaking sold out and it's no longer available. Oh man, rats, right? You're so upset, you're like down on yourself for like weeks, like, oh, that was the perfect window, like I'm never gonna find anything better. But remember that everything is perfect. Everything in life is perfect. So little did you know that 3 weeks later, you're going about your life, you're still kind of thinking about that one perfect window, how you wish that it could have just been the perfect one. And then you run into the actual perfect one, right? You end up seeing it, you're like, holy crap, this is so much better than the first one that I saw. I'm so happy that that other one was sold out. It's crazy how things work out looking backwards, right? And it completes your house perfectly. Have you ever had a situation like this where looking backwards, you can connect the dots so perfectly, but like when you're looking forward, you were just winging shit, like you felt hopeless, overwhelmed, like it was never going to work out, like it was never going to come together every single time, right? That's literally what life is. That's why I always say, like, nobody knows what the heck's going on. We're all just fumbling through life, doing the frickin' best that we can. Because looking forward, it's always like that. It's always a mess. But it's when you look backwards that you actually see, like, all of this happened for a reason. That all of these situations, these trials, these tribulations, these hard times, these good times, they were all there for a reason, for you to learn, for you to grow, and for you to become the person that you are today. So just remember that everything and everyone, including you, is perfect. Everything. And you may not see it because you're looking forward right now, but trust me, when you look back at yourself a year from today, you're going to see how perfect you are and how the placement in your life right now is exactly perfect to where your growth journey is headed. It's going to be amazing. Just like we always forget, like, take a look back at a year from now or 2 years from now, or 2 years ago, sorry. Take a look back there. Think about how much growth you've had since then. Did it seem like it was that smooth when you were like in that position, you were looking forward? Hell nah, it was a frickin' mess, right? But looking back, that's where the magic comes in. So you just gotta trust that even though when shit is just completely chaotic and it's messy, you just have to trust fully, surrender to the plan, take me where I must go, because I know that you have a lot more divine wisdom than I do. And you just got to trust that it's always taking you exactly where you need to go. And just know that you may not see it in yourself yet, but just know that I see it in you because you also see that light and that energy in me. And the only reason that you can see that in me is because it's in you. Because we're all just reflections of each other. So just know that you do have that light inside of you and you are working super hard to brighten it up, to reignite that soul and frickin' make your life epic. And you're totally possible. You're totally capable of achieving it. And so remember that as you go through life, you're going to continuously go through this like cycle of open doors and closed doors. So one day you're going to wake up, you're not going to get a very good sleep. You're going to wake up, you are going to be a closed door. Like you're not open to anything. You get a good sleep. You might be a little bit more open. You might have another day where you're fully open. You're like, life is great. Everything's working out for me. Oh my gosh. And you have another day where you're like, I hate life. This is so hard. I just want to cry all day in my bed. Know that all of it's perfect. And it's exactly how it's meant to be. But remember, the open ones and the successful ones, it doesn't mean they're open all the time. They go through the exact same hard things as you do, and I do, but they just never give up. They are the ones that just keep on going through the good, through the bad. They learn their lessons, they implement them, and they move on. Like, I love to just think of it like they're like a kid when they find a piece of candy on the ground. They're like, ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of candy. Ooh, piece of... And then they fucking receive a black licorice candy. They're like, ugh, fucking black licorice candy. And then they're like, ooh, piece of candy, right? They just keep on going regardless what they get. Sure, they hate the black licorice candy while they have it. Because, really, let's be serious. If you like black licorice, I don't think I could trust you. Just kidding, you're amazing. But they just keep going, right? They never stop. They just keep on going. And they're the ones, they just keep on going. They never give up until one day they die, because we're all going to die. There's no point in being afraid of death, being fearful of death. Anything, be fearful of living a life that you may as well be freaking dead, because you're just staying in your comfort zone, doing absolutely nothing with your life, being miserable, right? Those ones that are open, those ones that just keep on going, they're the ones that are like at the end of their life, they're like, man, that was freaking epic. Whew! That was good. I'm so happy that I freaking got those licorices and those candies, because I just kept on going, and there were so many candies to be had. And I freaking love candy, so I am just going to keep on going. I don't care how many black licorices I get. Even though I hate them, the hate of the black licorice is never going to stop me from receiving the goodness of that candy. So remember that. Like, black licorice are like on the same wavelength as olives for me. Both are like just nasty. And I don't think that's something that I'm ever going to change. That's one belief that I'm like firm on, that can like really implant itself into my brain. I'm being stubborn. Patricia has a really big grasp on that one. Never, ever, ever changing my belief about black licorice and olives, okay? End of conversation. Don't try to convince me otherwise. Okay, so that's the one that is open. So chances are you're an open book right now, because you're still here with me on this podcast, right? You have your moments where you're open. You have your moments where you're not. But I think it's super important for us to also understand how the universe plays this game with those closed people, right? So we've seen like, ooh, piece of candy. But what does it look like when you're that closed door? Because either you might be there right now, or maybe it's been a while since you've been there completely, so you kind of forget what it looks like. And then the ego kicks in again, and it makes you feel like you're superior to people that have those closed doors, because that's just what our egos love to do. Like, Patricia just loves feeling important. She just loves it, right? So why don't these people get it? Like, these people that are closed doors, like, they're just so miserable. Like, they just don't get it, right? Like, what the heck? If only they were into personal growth like me, listening to this podcast. I just can't be friends with them. Like, I just can't do this anymore. I'm so over it, right? Like, our ego can get to that place where we see people that are struggling, and instead of showing love and compassion towards those people and understanding that they're hurting people, we're all hurting and we're all healing and we're all doing our best. So being aware that this process will happen to you at one point in your journey, I really want to share with you everything is perfect. Whether you're in that closed spot, whether you know somebody that's in that closed spot, whether you're like super grateful that you're in that open place right now, or you're in that place where you're partially open. Like, be grateful for it, but just remember to be humble and remember that everybody is on their own journey. Don't compare your journey to anybody else's, whether they're doing better than you and you're like thinking that somebody else's light dulls your light. Hell no, you can both be bright, right? Or if somebody else, you're feeling good, your light's going good, but you've got somebody else there that their energy is not so good. They're hurting right now. It doesn't make them less of a person, right? You want to love on them. You want to show them that you care, so that you and your energy can always raise up somebody. Remember when I said that love always wins? Love and energy is always going to win over fear and hurt. So just know that you have that power within you. When you're feeling good and you're feeling in that space to hold space for other people, you can share that energy with them. And that being said, if you're in that place where you're like, hell no, I cannot hold space for anybody right now, Like I literally can barely keep my energy good. It's totally okay. You have no obligation to help anybody else but yourself. You are your number one priority. And then once you get to that place where you're feeling good and you have that desire to help other people, and then you can start doing that. And once you get to that place where you can confidently hold space for yourself, you can hold space for others, and you want to hold space for the frickin' planet and the future generations, like that's powerful. But it all starts with you and just owning up to the fact that you need to take space for yourself first, knowing that it's not selfish and that it's okay to do that. So just know that whichever one you are right now, everything is exactly perfect for you. Okay, so we have the thermostat whole idea of turning it up. The universe is going to turn it up and it's going to turn up the temperature for you. So we've also got when you're a closed door, like what is it that goes on? So chances are those people with the closed door, they're not focusing on what they want, right? They're focusing on that list that you already burned, that you no longer want to see anymore. And we can still go back to that place very easily, right? Because it's all a part of that chemical conditioning that we already have. But it's about recognizing it. So when we're focusing on all those things that are going wrong in our life, that victim mentality, why me type thoughts, it's okay if you're there. We're all going to go back there at some point. But just know that the universe is still conspiring with you. So if you're putting out this negative energy toward it, it's going to do the exact same thing and start bringing negative energy back to you. And just like it will escalate those inspiration opportunities so that you open up your eyes and see them, it's going to do the exact same thing. So things are just going to keep getting worse and worse and worse until you decide to make a change, right? It's just the way the universe works. It's going to throw a small pebble as a tiny hint, but as you don't see it because you're too focused on the lack and the things that aren't going right, then it's going to escalate it and it's going to throw a bigger rock. And then it's going to throw a bigger rock. And it's going to fucking throw a boulder at you. So it's about learning when these pebbles are starting to come so that we can shift from that negativity back to that positivity so that we avoid the boulders. We do not want to get to those points with the boulders. But sometimes that does happen to us, right? Like I know for me, I was at this point where it was like a couple years ago, and I was like at this point where it was just like I felt like things were not going my way just because I wasn't making decisions that were in alignment with me. And I was super unhappy. I was super unfulfilled. And sometimes it takes a big drastic event. For me, it was a relationship ending after 6 years that completely shattered my world and like changed absolutely everything. For other people, it could be a death of a family member or friend. It could be a diagnosis that you get of cancer where you're kind of like, oh shit, like what am I doing with my life? Like maybe it's something positive. Maybe you won a trip and it really opened up your eyes to some whole new part of the world that you really want to do. Whatever that event is, a lot of the time it takes some drastic event or something to change and shift so that that person can then start flipping to the other side of the channel and start becoming more open. And with that openness comes more positivity, more abundance, more love, more relationships, more epicness. Whatever it is that you're looking to achieve, it all comes by starting with that open channel. And remember that the open channel starts with you being conscious and present. So doing your 3-step process every single day, right? This is like, it's just like going to the gym. If you go to the gym and you work really hard, you're going to freaking get some massive freaking pipes on you, right? Like it's a fact. If you work out, you're going to get muscles eventually, right? If you stop working out, it's one of those elliptical schemes and you hate it. But in reality, it was just because you weren't consistent enough to keep going to the gym and you're mad at yourself. It's the exact same thing as this. You need to put in the daily work every single day. If you're not willing to put in the daily work, that's cool. That's totally cool. You can put it in every other day. Put it in maybe once a week. You're like, hell yeah, I'm going to do this once a week. I'm going to put in work once a week. That's cool. If you want to do it once a month, that's fine too. It's all perfect. But you just have to remember that if you have really high expectations for yourself and you want to grow really quickly, you need to match the effort that you're putting in with the outcome that you're looking for. So if you're wanting to grow a lot quicker and you're willing to put in the daily actions every single day, then you're going to get a lot better results. So that being said, make sure that you're still doing your 3-step process. Don't stop doing that until ever. Just kidding. Until you start really being aware of the emotions you have within your body. Being aware of catching yourself in these thoughts. Being aware of catching yourself doing weird behaviors that you're like, this doesn't seem like that's in alignment with who I want to become. Keep doing the 3-step process until you start mastering those skills. And then from there, keep doing your Ho'oponopono. Keep clearing away that negative energy and refilling it back with love and light and energy, and fill up that cup. And watch it go from in your boots all the way back up into your head and overflowing with love again, right? Keep doing that. Keep reassessing your list of what you don't want with your list of what you do want. And then just keep burning that negative list. This is all stuff that you can continually do over and over and over and over and over again. So when you feel stuck, you're not actually stuck. You just have to get back to the basics again, right? And then remember that it's normal for you to go through these ups and downs where you're open, you're closed, you're partial. It's normal. But you also have a choice how long you want to stay in that space. Like, you're becoming more conscious every single day of the way that you act, the way that you behave. You're relearning who the heck you are. It's a big thing, right? And good for you. I'm so proud of you for being open and willing to do that. But it's a big thing, and it's not easy. Like, we are complex beings. So take it with a little bit of ease on yourself. You're doing amazing, right? So just keep moving forward. And when you realize that you're in those negative spaces where you're starting to see some frickin' rocks being thrown at you instead of little acts of inspiration, because those negative thoughts are creeping in a little bit more, you need to just catch yourself in them and shift it. So remember, we talked about humor. You can do that. We talked about doing Ho'oponopono. You can do that to shift it. Shift it into something that is fun and enjoyable, but then also remember to take the time to journal about what it actually was that's been keeping you in that state, because we can learn a lot from those negative places that we don't like being in. As humans, we hate being uncomfortable, but I've learned that in those uncomfortable spaces, in those darkest times, that's where you really learn what's on your what I don't want list. And we know that once we know what's on our do not want list, we can then flip that over into the things that we do want. We can burn that list, and we can focus on those things that we do want, so we can start opening up those doors again, easing our way back into those open doors, start seeing more inspiration, start being open to the inspiration, start putting the action into the inspiration, start changing our behaviors, our actions, our beliefs, and in turn change our thoughts. So you can see how this, as quickly as it can spiral downwards sometimes, it can also spiral back upwards. So just know that you're fully capable of it. That is going to be it for today. So that is day number 4 of your self-love challenge. I'm so proud of you for being here. Thank you so much for taking the time to put into yourself. Because if everybody took this amount of time and invested it into themselves instead of investing it into other things, the world would be such an amazing place. And that's the movement that we're going on here. So I'm so proud of you. I'm so thankful to be on this road with you. Just know that it is safe to open up your heart. It is safe to open up your mind, to dream bigger, to want more for yourself. You're worthy of it. You're capable of it. And if you ever doubt that anybody loves you, just remember that I do eternally. God, the universe, we're always here to support you. And you're never alone on this journey. So I love you guys. Have the best day today. And I will see you tomorrow. Bye.